脚下海浪波涛汹涌，头顶狂风呼啸而至，手中船舵微微颤抖。碧海黑帆，任我探索。众所周知，育碧的新作关于海盗题材，但除了海水之外，有没有其他地方可供探索呢？就此，我们与育碧新加坡的开发者们进行了交流。
The gameplay on land is about socializing, crafting, building up your fleet, and taking contracts in the game, in either a den or the outposts.
虽然碧海黑帆大部分地图都是海洋，但玩家仍可以下船上岸探索。不是所有岛屿都可供探索，但玩家可以在窝点以及前哨站下锚，这两个地方有海盗所需要的一切。
The particularity of the land also is that it offers you a safe zone where nobody can attack you. The role of the pirate is to do some back and forth between the safe land where you can build your ship and customize your ship, but also trade some resources before to go on the hostile ocean to steal precious cargo that then you bring back. So from land, aside building and crafting and trading, also you can take some contracts to make some money from some other pirate kingpins. As your infamy begins to spread across the Indian Ocean, you will gain an access to your own pirate lair, from where you can kickstart your ascent to a pirate kingpin by manufacturing and smuggling illegal and high-value goods.
碧海黑帆是一个栩栩如生的世界，没有什么是一成不变的，一些角色不会一直待在同一个地方，所以你要趁着合适的时机寻找对的人。
Spread all over the world, you will find some outposts where you can also meet other smugglers or some local rebels fighting against the mega corporations. We call them ephemeral zones because the NPC you will meet in those outposts won't always be the same because they are also traveling, they are moving from a place to another one. When you connect to Skull and Bones, the first thing to do is look at your map and to see where the trade routes are, where the merchants are, before to select the right ship, provision it and equip it and set sails to the direction that is more interesting for you.
海盗主要从事的勾当就是航行、贸易、走私，但寻宝应该是作为海盗最快乐的时候。
There are a lot of treasures hidden in all the outposts, so you need to board some ships and to steal pieces of treasure, or you can also scavenge some wrecks to find other pieces of map according to some drawing and some landmarks. Once you find the right island, you can also use a land compass that will help you to find the location of the treasure.
岛上的玄机自然是数不胜数，但碧海黑帆真正的核心还是在于航海。育碧新加坡致力于将海洋打造得更加有趣、更富有挑战性。
So our water, it's essentially a deforming mesh, and that deforming mesh informs the physics. So the boat is actually interacting with the waves. It's not just sailing straight and we add some splashes or like an animated texture. We have other physics properties that each ship will read from. So there's buoyancy and there's drag. So this affects how far into the water the boat will go, how slow they will go through it. So each ship should feel different based on the size and how heavy it is.
既然本作如此关注航海，那么航海机制就必须超越《刺客信条》系列，船上载重以及风向都应该要考虑到。
Of course, wind should be important to sailing and navigation, but the wind direction actually affects the speed of your ship. A good player will navigate better with the wind at their back and tack better and therefore be a better navigator. So it's just another element of the world that the player needs to be aware of.
虽然航海系统非常复杂，但碧海黑帆绝不是一个硬核航海模拟器。
You don't need to be a sailor to play Skull and Bones and be able to understand what to do, but as you learn how to use the wind better and what that means and what does your weight mean in your cargo and the type of ship that you have, you'll see that there is advantages to being a better captain and a better navigator.
印度洋的海浪多数情况都宁静美丽，但碧海黑帆的天气系统能完全改变海洋的面貌。
Well, we want to make sure that there is different types of weather. So you can have some light rain, you can have incredibly crazy supercell storm, and they will feel dynamic. We want the player to be surprised by that and feel the threats as you normally would at sailing out in the open seas.
一场海上风暴的危险程度不亚于装备着100个炮台的大型帆船。碧海黑帆的一大挑战就是学会如何在恶劣天气下保证航行安全。
When you enter the storm, obviously the waves get a lot bigger. That means that the certain size of ship you have could affect you. You could flood, you could take damage. Visibility will change. It'll be a lot darker, so maybe you won't be able to see threats. So yeah, it forces the player to make sure he's equipped properly for the journey with the right ship. Maybe they have enough food and weapons in case they engage someone.
大部分开放世界游戏 都会在不同的生态环境打造多样性，但航海设定就意味着碧海黑帆不可能做到这样。相反，开发组关注于海水的不同状态，并重现海盗的黄金时代，以确保地图的各个区域的新鲜感。
Wind affects the water, the terrain affects the water, so if I'm in a coastal sea near the shoreline, the waters will be appropriately different. I can go inland, and then we're using the river technology, which we have 2 different water technologies. So more than ever, the world needs to feed the water and then feed the player to help him decide how to act. Not only that, we have the biome diversity of the Indian Ocean, so when I go to Africa, the water will look and feel different than when I go to the East Indies. We wanted to really show the diversity and the realism of water.
As you travel through different territory for the factions, you'll see the colors changing, the flags, the iconography change around you. So you'll be aware of, ooh, I'm in Farah territory or I'm in the French territory. The color schemes and all of that will change, breaking that up with dynamic events or things that can kind of go, ooh, what is that? And get the player to investigate are really important because you don't want to just sail, for forever as you're moving, because it's a big game. So that's basically what we try to do, is break up the passage with different things you can engage with, helping a merchant out, repairing a ship.
You can be distracted by also broken pieces of map you will find in a bottle, and that will lead you towards some treasure hidden on the remote islands. You can find also a ship that is looking for some help. You can decide to escort that ship first before to go back to the prey you had started to shadow. Something we implemented also in the game is that sometimes, depending on the value or the properties of the cargo you are transporting, you can attract also specific enemies such as pirate rogues, the rivals who will try to eat a piece of your pie.
碧海黑帆的大型开放世界非常美丽，玩家也许只是为了观赏更多风景而航行，但探索同样关乎玩家的存活，因为生存机制与核心玩法是相匹配的。玩家需要不断寻找新资源，收集原材料，强化船只，犒劳船员，提升名望。
In the world of Skull and Bones, you will evolve from the status of castaway, stranded on a desert island, to the role of middleman, working for other pirates, and then to the status of kingpin. So to rise from the hero to hero, but you will first have to collect the resources that will allow you to build your ship and craft your weapon, and that will allow you also to upkeep the morale of your crew, because we have a system of mutiny. So in the game, but you can use a small ship and a harpoon to fish some sharks and even some crocodiles. But you can use also a large set of tools to chop some trees or to collect some irons. You can also scavenge some wrecks and steal some pieces of ship. And of course, you can plunder the rich merchant company and all their forts to collect big amount of resources. The value of the resources is based on high risk, high reward.
如果生存机制让各位有一点发怵，比如可能存在缺水机制，但不用担心，碧海黑帆并不是那样的生存游戏。
As a captain, you don't have a status, you don't need to drink or to consume some food yourself. If you don't feed or don't provide your crew with water, after a while, they might turn against you, kick you out of your own ship and maroon you on some island. But if you feed them properly and if you cook also some food providing additional temporary buff, you can also increase the speed of your ship and the damages you will deal because they have more energy.
也许地图大部分是海洋，但碧海黑帆还是有非常多可供探索的部分。碧海黑帆将于11月8日正式发售，登陆 PS5、Xbox Series 及 PC 平台。